In this video, I'm going to walk you through setting up solar panel cleaning ads for your solar panel cleaning company. Now, these are the same type of ads that we set up for our clients. Currently, right now, we're generating leads at about $7.66 per lead in the solar cleaning space. And in addition to this, I'm going to show you what the follow-up process looks like so that you can close more of that business as the lead starts to come in. If you're new here, my name is Armando, and I work with local home service businesses running their Facebook ads so they can generate more leads and bring in more sales. And if that's something you're interested in, subscribe so you don't miss any of the other videos. Our starting point is going to be the Facebook Ads Manager. This is where we are going to be setting up the campaigns. Very first thing you want to do is click on that green create button, and you're going to be shown a list of objectives in here. Now, it's important to note that there's more than one way to set up ads that successfully work. In our case, I'm going to show you what we actually set up for our clients. And a strategy that is actually very easy to set up, doesn't require a whole lot of technical expertise. So one objective that we're going to be choosing here is going to be the engagement objective. From the engagement objective, you're going to click on continue. Once you do that, Facebook is actually going to build out the ad structure. You have campaigns, you have the ad set, and you have the ad level. We're going to be going through each one of these sections, adjusting things and setting them up exactly how we set them up. The very first thing is going to be campaign name. Always give this a name that actually makes sense for you. So if we're running ads in Austin, Texas, so I'm going to say Austin, Texas solar cleaning, I can do that, or I can name it whatever I want that makes sense for me. You don't really have to worry about special ads category. This is only for housing, so real estate agents, only for credit repair, for employment, or for political ads. Does not apply for 9 out of 10 small local businesses. The next thing that I'm going to go down to is the advanced budget section, and I actually like to turn this off unless you have a fairly decent amount of budget that you can play around with. Next, you're going to click on the new engagement ad set level, and this is where we're going to be adjusting our targeting. We're going to be adjusting our budgeting and a few other things in here. So the very first thing that you need to do, again, is give this a name that makes sense to you. Typically, naming convention, I like to keep it at like the features that I choose in this step. So if I go with mobile placements, I type in mobile placements. If I do broad targeting, I type in broad targeting, just to help me identify one ad set from the next as we create more than one. Next, you're going to go to the section that says conversions, and in this conversion section, what you want to do is make sure that you have the first option chosen that says messaging apps. This is where the conversion, where the actual interaction is going to take place. You can choose a bunch of different ones in here, but what we usually set up is going to be messaging apps. On the ad type section, make sure that click to message is selected. You have a couple of options, sponsored messages or click messages. Make sure click to message is the option that you choose. Come down here and verify that you've got the proper Facebook page created or selected that you want to advertise on. I always leave performance goals for maximum number of conversions. And I don't do any bid control at all. Standard delivery and charge by impressions, which is pretty standard for all these accounts, is what we leave alone. Then you're going to come down to the budget and schedule section. This is where you're going to plug in your daily budget. I do recommend that you have a daily budget as opposed to a lifetime budget. We don't really run too many lifetime budget campaigns simply because in a lifetime budget, you're basically telling a campaign a start date and an end date. And if one of your ads start to perform really well, then you're going to kill the traction of that campaign. Where as a daily budget, you can go in and adjust and scale your campaigns accordingly as you start to get more leads, or dial them down if you choose to. So make sure you plug in your budget, whatever your budget is your budget in here. The next thing that we're going to do here is click on the audience control section. We are going to be setting up our location that we want to bring in leads from, basically our service area. Now, before I dive into this, I do want to tell you that every resource that I mentioned in this video is going to be linked in the description. I also have a small workshop that is a local business mastery workshop that goes into all these details in more depth. It covers how to create the perfect offer. It even gives you all the automated follow-up sequences that we use to set up for our clients that you can use for yourself to be able to close more business. So if you're interested in checking that out, check out the link in the description. Now, under audience controls, we are going to choose our location. And one thing you do not want to do is choose the entire United States. Basically, you're going to pick whatever service area that you want to advertise in. So in our case, if I want to advertise in Austin, Texas, for my solar cleaning company, I'm just going to pick Austin, Texas. I can also segment by zip codes and neighborhoods in some instances, counties. So make sure that you choose the area that you want to pick in here accordingly. From here, you have the option to select a city or within a certain mile radius. We're just going to leave this alone for this demonstration purposes. Minimum age group. Again, this is something that Facebook has recently changed. This is a big change going into 2024, really. Where they do not allow you to select a minimum age range anymore with their new option. This could become problematic for small business owners because we know that 18-year-olds are typically not going out there buying our solar panel cleaning services. So there's a few options that you can do in here. And again, I cover this in my workshop in more detail, and I even tell you what the best practices are. But you can choose to switch to the original one, or you can have an audience suggestion. Basically, you can tell Facebook, hey, my target audience starts from this age or that age, and please honor that. There is no guarantee in here. If you read more into these terms of service, there's no guarantee that Facebook is going to honor these age ranges in here. So for that reason, we switched to use the original conversion in here, and we're able to now select our age range. Now from here, make sure that you choose the age range of your ideal customers in here to start off with. Pick the ones that are most likely to convert for you based on your data. Choose your genders, and pretty much is going to be it from here. Next, we're going to adjust placements. Placements is another change that Facebook has recently made. Some of you may be on ad accounts that this screen looks a little bit different than mine, and that's because not every ad account has this feature rolled out from what I find. But placements is one of those that right now the way they're setting it up is they've introduced something called advanced placements. It's basically allowing Facebook to kind of figure out where they feel your ad's going to be the best fit for. What I like to do is click on edit in here, and I like to disable a few things. I like to pick my own placements because I know exactly where my people are hanging out at and which type of placements I want them to deliver to. So what I do here is typically I will turn off audience networks, and I will turn off networks rewarded videos, and I would also pick the placements that I want to show my ad in. So now with that being said, let's get on to the ad set level, and we're going to set up our creative. So again, typical pattern that you've seen already. Go ahead and give this a name that makes sense. It's smart if you give these creatives a name that describes the creative. Okay, so don't name all your images or all your videos, video 1, video 2, video 3, video 4, because then when you come back and look at this, you're not going to know what video 1, 2, or 3, or 4 is. Okay, so make sure you use proper descriptors in here. So if it's a video of you cleaning the cells, write it down. Video of me cleaning a cell wearing a blue shirt or something like that. Okay. Next you want to do is come down to the identity section, and all you're doing here is just making sure that you have the right page selected that you want to run these ads for. From here, go to the ad setup, and we want to create an ad, single image or video, and we can just leave multi-advertiser alone. Then go down to the ad creative section, and this is where we're going to be adding our media. So you have the option in here. I want to talk a little bit about creative. You can add videos, you can add pictures. There is, I get a lot of questions from people who are always asking, I heard video is better than pictures. That's not necessarily true. We have a lot of ads that we run across hundreds of accounts at this point, and we've got some that are working great with videos and some that are working great with images. It's just about testing and seeing what your audience is going to respond to. So for solar cleaning panels, though, I find that showing the process does a little bit better than just a standard stock image. So in our case, I'm going to show you what this looks like with a standard video. So I'm going to click on add video, and it's basically going to open up my media library for me to pick the videos that I want to promote. Now, if I don't have a video in here, all I'm going to do is click upload, and I'm going to choose it from my computer. Now my video is selected, and as you can see, it's right here on the right hand side. When at all possible, try to not use stock images, stock video. If you're out there doing work, you should already have some sort of portfolio of of you doing the actual work. People like to see the process. They want to see a real human, because people buy from people. So take your phone out, put it on a tripod, and record a few clips of you doing some jobs, and you can use that in your creatives, so that you have plenty of stuff to cycle through and test out. Next thing you're going to want to add is your primary text and your headline. This is where your offer comes into play. This is super important because what you say really matters. I've seen people create ads and they just basically, it's like a jumbled up paragraph of text. People don't respond to it really well. The two most important parts when creating an ad that are going to make a difference whether or not people convert or not are going to be, number one, your offer, meaning your primary text, and your creative. So if either one of those is out of sync, then you have room for improvement there to try to bring that lead cost down and to improve your ads. Once you plug in your primary text, which is your offer, inside this section here, go down to the ad headline section, and this is where you're going to plug in your headline for your offer. And for us, for example, if we're promoting solar panel cleaning for as low as $249, then I'm going to say, solar panel cleaning for as low as $249. From here on out, you can add a few things and change the call to action to, sign up, learn more, get promotion, etc. Pick the call to action that makes sense for you. Keep in mind that what we're doing here with these ads is we're building a connection. People buy from real people. People, want to have that human connection, especially now in the world of artificial intelligence where there's a lot of nonsense out in the world. People just want to hear from another human. So make sure that whatever call to action you pick matches the ad that you have in here, the verbiage that you're saying in your ad copy. So if you're telling people to get a quote, then make sure that says get a quote. If you're telling people to message you, then make sure that says message. Next, you're going to set up the message template. Now, this is the greeting that people are going to be met with when they click your ad. So it's important. This part right here is important because what you say here can help you weed out all the people who aren't interested and attract some of those people who are going to be better prospects. Now, naturally speaking, when you run any sort of advertising, and it's not just Facebook, it could be Instagram, it could be Google, it could be Nextdoor, it could be whatever, you're going to get a percentage of people who just simply are not interested. They're not going to be qualified leads. That's okay, because the good ones will outweigh all the ones that you don't get. So very first thing that I do here is go to the start conversation and I edit this conversation box in here. What I like to do here is just basically tell people, okay, instead of telling people how we can help them, we want to ask people if they want to quote, are you interested in a solar panel cleaning quote? Okay. If so, let me know below. Right? Simple as that. I typically will turn off all these other questions. I have no other questions in here. I can ask maybe one or two, but really what I want to do here is I want to gauge whether they're interested in this or they're not interested in this. If they're not interested in this, they're going to tell me no or they're going to leave. But if they are interested in this, they're going to respond and they're going to say, yes, I'm interested, or I need more information. And it's at that point that we can enter into a real conversation with them to see if we can quote them, move them off of Facebook and into a text messaging platform where we can have a more intimate conversation with them. Once you set this up, you're going to click on save. And once this is saved, the next option is going to be publish. You're going to click on this green publish button, and this is going to go up to Facebook so that it goes for approval and your ads will start to run once they approve that. Now, the next thing that I'm going to show you is how we handle these interactions, because it's very important to have proper follow-up. 9 times out of 10, small business owners do not have a lead problem. They have a follow-up problem. And even the best businesses that we've worked with who say they respond to people right away, almost instantly, who say that they're good about texting and emailing the prospects, are terrible at doing so. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to alleviate this so you can close more of that business. All right, so the tool that we're using is called High Level, and we connect this to every single one of our lead generating platforms, whether we're doing Instagram leads or Facebook leads, TikTok leads, Google leads, etc. But for now, I'm going to show you how this works on on Facebook, and I'm going to include a link to the automated workflow that we've built so that if you decide to try this out yourself and you want to use it, you don't have to start from scratch, just import it from there. If you sign up through the link that's in the description, it'll import into your account and you can go from there. So basically what we're doing here is we want to handle every piece of communication that comes in instantly so that those leads become better quality for us and we can have natural conversations with them. In order to do that, we understand that we cannot be on the phone 24 hours a day, because if we're on top of a roof doing solar cleaning or you're doing something else with a customer, you're just naturally not going to be able to get to that in time, and that's where this tool comes in. So let me show you what happens here. Basically what you're doing is you're taking this tool, you're connecting it with Facebook, you're authenticating your user ID and password, and then connecting the ad to this tool. Now we have an automated workflow that works like this. When a customer responds from that ad, okay, from the lead ad that we just created or the messenger ad, it's going to trigger this series of events. It's basically going to say, is this a new customer? Meaning, do they exist in this system? If the answer is no, it's going to add a tag and it's going to put them into a pipeline stage where it's going to organize literally all your leads like this. From here, you can then choose to decide to move these leads from a book call to sent agreement to onboarding to jobs completed to quoted, etc. Okay. So what happens here is the lead handling. The message that the lead responds or sends to you is going to be put in a note in their account so you can kind of see that later. Then an internal notification is going to go out. This notification is going to go out to you, to your team, to your sales staff. It could be a text notification, it could be an email notification, it can be an in-app notification, or all three. Then from here, it's going to wait about a fraction of a second, and it's going to actually look and see if the message was received within business hours. Now you have to understand how consumer behavior works and what happens in today's world, right? Your most qualified customers are going to be busy people. The higher the quality of the customer, the busier they're going to be, because the people who own solar panels in their homes and all that stuff are working people. They're probably going to be at work Monday through Friday. Some of them are going to work 10, 12-hour shifts. Some of them are going to have school activities with the kids and everything else that goes along with it. So what we're looking to do here is check whether or not this came in within business hours or after business hours. If it came in within business hours, the message came in within business hours, we are then going to ask somebody to give us their phone number. So if somebody responds and says, yes, I'm interested in a quote, the system will then respond on your behalf and say, great, what's a good phone number that we can reach you at? Because we're not always on Facebook. Just give us a phone number and we'll get back to you. Once they give you that phone number, then another series of automations happen where we can ask a few more questions about how many panels they have, how old they're, when was the last cleaning, etc. If they came in after business hours, the system recognizes that and it says, hey, it looks like you came in after business hours. We're probably going to get back to you tomorrow at some point, but give us your phone number so we can make sure that we can, address this properly. Or if you like this callback, go here and request a callback, and our team is gonna give you a call. From here, a lot of conversations happen back and forth, and you can then close more of the business. Now, this is our entire setup. This is how we set things up for a lot of home service businesses, and this is how we set them up for solar panel cleaning. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you have questions, leave them in the comments, and there are links to other resources that I mentioned in the description of this video.